If things weren't bad enough for JLo, now she's getting mocked on her birthday, and Ben is looking like the bad guy now. You're probably a fan of JLo, as am I, but you also know the type of person she is, and with her and Ben going through the divorce, and now it's looking like they actually filed now. But with them going through the divorce, it was looking like they were both at fault, but you kind of figure that she was probably causing a lot of the trouble because she's been in and out of relationships, over the years. But all of a sudden, Ben's kind of looking like the bad guy now, and at least publicly looking like the jerk. And it's kind of started with on her birthday that the reports came out that he leased a house, or he's renting a house now. And of course, it's, mega expensive house. But here's the thing. People say, well, it just happened to be on her birthday. No, not at all. These things are crafted by their PR people. There's no question at all that Ben's PR people released that on her birthday. That was fully intentional, and that was a shot straight at JLo. And that kind of tells you one of two things. Either Ben Affleck is a complete jerk, which I'm not a huge fan of him. So, but I don't know that he's that bad of a guy. But actually, there's some reason to believe he might be. We'll get into that in a second. Or it could be he's very scorned. Like he's very hurt from JLo. I tend to think he's probably not a great guy because if you look at even over the years, if we're going to look at Ben Affleck a little bit, it's always everything's been about him in his life. I know he's had some substance issues with drinking and everything, and it's not a fault to him. I mean, people have issues, and that's fine. But it seems like he's been a child in the relationship with Jennifer Garner. And I'm not a huge Jennifer Garner fan, but in that relationship, it seems like she's taking care of him, she's looking after him, she's taking care of their kids, and he's out running around doing whatever. He was out in the last few years. He was out at parties getting drunk. He's doing crazy things. He's being photographed with different people, and then he gets involved with JLo, and then that relationship falls apart. And every photo you see of him, he looks miserable. And for a guy who's by all accounts extremely wealthy, he has to have millions of dollars in the bank. Otherwise, he wouldn't be leasing these properties that are $100,000 a month, putting money on the property he bought with JLo, because supposedly they bought that together. And you got to put millions of, even if you're financing a lot, you got to put millions of dollars down. You got to have some serious money to even be involved in a property like that. So by all accounts, he's got mega amounts of money. It's not like he's working all the time. Now, I know he does movies, and he's still active in the entertainment business, but it's not like he's in a ongoing show, whether it's a sitcom or any type of show on TV. It's not like he's in movie after movie after movie after movie where he's constantly working. It seems like he's off quite a bit. And that shows that he made a lot of money in his career, and to his credit, or to someone around him, he probably socked a lot away, and chances are he probably socked a good amount aside, and he's probably living off interest and dividends, or whatever you want to call it, where he's getting money from the money he saved up, which you got to make a lot of money to do that. But don't forget, Ben had a huge career. Going back 20 years. I mean, he started, like, when he just hit the scene. I mean, he with Good Will Hunting, I mean, he kind of blew up, and then he became a megastar, and he was in so many movies, and he was in blockbuster movies where I don't know how much he got paid, but I would imagine at the time it was the top pay for an actor, and so he's made a ton of money. So for a guy who's got everything that a normal person looks at and says, God, this guy has it all, right? So he's got money where he doesn't have to worry about money, like the rest of us have to worry about, paying rent, and the rest of us have to worry about buying groceries, paying our bills, paying our credit cards, all this kind of stuff. It doesn't seem like he has to worry about that stuff. On top of it, he's got healthy kids. He's got it seems like a good, positive relationship with his ex-wife, with Jennifer Garner. It seems like from the outside that he's not really involved in raising the kids, that she's doing the raising of the kids. So he's again, he's lucky that he's got an ex-wife that is raising the kids. And whether it's because she's got her own money or whether he's supporting her, and I'm not saying support her because I know she's made a lot of money too, but I'm saying he's probably, chances are he's probably contributing money to them also, I would imagine. But again, Jennifer Garner's made a lot of money too. She was a pretty big star, not as big as Ben, but she was a big star too, and she's probably made a lot of money. But and when you see Ben Affleck, he's always driving in a Mercedes or a Range Rover. I mean, he's always had like the best cars over the years. He leases a house for $100,000 and then gets another house, a multi-million-dollar house, multi-million-dollar house with JLo, and so he's got everything that you can want. He's a big Hollywood star, and even now he's still a huge star. It's not like his star has faded. I mean, he's still a star. He's got, paparazzi following, taking his picture, and, he's in magazines. And again, that's something that people look at and say, that's what I want. I wish I could be like that. And it seems like he's got the world at his feet, but yet he looks miserable. In every single picture that you see of him, he looks absolutely miserable. And so you ask well, how is it? So chances are, if he's photographed like that, just on a day-to-day, he's probably a miserable person to be around, I would imagine. And I'm not just throwing dirt at him, because I think I used to be a big Ben Affleck fan, but it's kind of faded over the years because he seems like he doesn't seem like a good person, I guess I would say, because you look at some people and some people you're a fan of, like JLo. I'm a fan, you're probably a fan. And you probably give her a little more slack, like if she does something or says something, give her a little more slack. Say, okay, well, whatever, she's a hard worker, so blah blah blah, whatever. But then there's certain people where it's constant with Ben Affleck, where it's just he seems like he's an absolute miserable person. And then so let's go back to the thing on JLo's birthday. So she's celebrating her 55th birthday, and then it comes out that he's that he's getting the new house. And again, of course, that's perfectly planned by his PR people. That's absolutely not an accident. So he's by far looking like the jerk, and I can't imagine that he's a great person to be around. It just I mean, how can you have all that, and by all accounts, he's in great health. His family's in great health. How are you that miserable? How are you just walking around miserable all day? Is it because he stopped drinking? Maybe. I mean, but for goodness sakes, I mean, yes, you enjoy drinking and having a drink. I get it. I understand that. But okay, he gives up drinking, and he's that miserable. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it, and he's looking like the bad guy and all this. And the roles really flip, because I think in most people's eyes, people kind of blame JLo. Like, okay, she's in and out of relationships. She's always on to the next person, and that's just how she is, and that's fine. I mean, everyone's different, right? But he was almost looking like the victim, and now it's like by him doing that, he's definitely looking like he's not he got to get along. And maybe I think JLo's better off by getting away from him. And you look in the last few years, her career is just going in shambles. Or I think her getting away from Ben and them divorcing, I kind of think that's going to be better for her. And so you got to expect she's going to make another comeback.